Hello. At the request of one of my besties, he asked me to make a video about famous bodybuilders, my opinions on them, experiences with them, what have you. And the first bodybuilder that I depicted in this series was, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger. But then I decided to take the series in a different direction and focus on famous gyms that I've trained at. And I started with my home gym, Bev Francis's Gold Gym in Syosset, New York, the East Coast mecca of bodybuilding, and I went on to a long description. But for the second part of this, I want to explore the most famous gym of all, Venice Beach Gold's Gym. And if you've seen any documentaries, of course, that's where Schwarzenegger trained when he was in California, Hulk Hogan, all of the big names in bodybuilding, celebrities, other athletes. And I did have the privilege of training there about 3 times in my life. My sister lived in Los Angeles, so I would go visit and train at Gold's Gym, Venice Beach, every day. First of all, I love the whole Venice Beach freak attitude. I liked, even before going into the gym, just sitting on a bench and watching the atmosphere, watching the environment, watching the people go by. It was really fun if you're a people watcher like I can be at times. But going into the gym itself was even more amazing. And when I was there was in the late 90s, when my favorite era of bodybuilding. So almost everyone I saw there was a well-known bodybuilder. Mike Matarazzo, I'm watching a documentary about him right now. Flex Wheeler was there. Paul Dillette. I got to work in with Paul Dillette and Charles Glass, the most famous celebrity trainer of them all. He's not a celebrity trainer, he's a professional bodybuilder trainer. Everybody was there. It was great. I loved it. Of course, the equipment was the most modern at that time. But even the non-bodybuilders. I met Lawrence Hilton Jacobs there. Freddie Boom Boom Washington from Welcome Back Kotter. Joe Jackson, he was in Cooley High. You'd recognize him if you saw him. The desk showed me Ed O'Neill's identification card. Al Bundy. Didn't meet him personally, but it was just pretty cool. He was very big at that time. Wild Man Jack Armstrong. He was a professional wrestler, more so in the 70s. He was in the movie Mickey and Maude with Dudley Moore. He was on The Fall Guy with Lee Majors. Sat down with me, bought me lunch, talked to me about professional wrestling for an hour and a half. Told me at that time superstar Billy Graham was making all of these claims about how Vince McMahon forced him on steroids, and Wildman Jack Armstrong said he's lying. He did steroids with me in the early 70s, well before Vince McMahon took any kind of control. So I'll never forget my time there. It was only 3 weeks over a decade, but that's a great gym. And if you have any kind of sense of history when it comes to bodybuilding, you have to go to Gold's Venice Beach Gym and stop by the Firehouse for lunch afterwards.